Good morning, Tulip Grove, and welcome to Happy Wednesday Live. I am so excited to see you all this morning. I hope that you are just as excited to see Mrs. Coffin. We have a special guest with us today, and her name is Delicate Valentino Smith. And I know you're like, what's that mean, Mrs. Coffin? Well, Delicate Valentino Smith is our local politics council delegate to the State House of Maryland. And so she represents our neighborhood. So things like our brand new school and making sure that our communities are safe, that's her job. And today she's going to read a story to us called Sophia Valdez, Future Prez. And it's going to be all about girls and leadership, because we know that girls rock. We talked all about that during Women's History Month, and we need boys who support girls so that girls can rock. So this story today is for all of us. So I'm going to turn it over to Delicate Valentino Smith, who's going to read you this lovely story today. And listen close, because at the end, we're going to ask some questions and give you an opportunity to talk to us in the chat. All right. So before we begin, let's do a quick check-in. How's everyone feeling today? Let's do our weather check-in. How are you feeling? Are you feeling sunny and bright today? A little bit cloudy? How are you feeling today? So I'm going to wait a moment for you to talk with your classes. And then if you can check in, that would be great. Hey, Ellie, how you doing? Thanks for checking in. Oh, it's hard talking in a mask. It's so hard to talk in a mask, guys. Ms. Coffin has to take it down for a second. All right, let's see who else is out there this morning. All right. Miss Robertson's class says they are sunny and bright and ready to take on the day. I love it. Mr. Taylor says it's clearing skies in 4th grade. That means you're getting ready for some great things, right, Mr. Taylor? I think that's what that means when it's clearing skies in 4th grade. All right, who else is checking in this morning? Let me check my phone too, because I definitely have my phone nearby, just in case the teachers want to text Ms. Coffin. All right, Ms. Segreto says her class is sunny. Ms. Drummond checked in. And Caroline says, pretty good in Miss Myers' class. All right. Miss Richardson checked in, sunny, but a little tired, awesome, and ready to go. And Miss Holmes says, some are stormy because they're sleepy, but some are sunny because it's going to be a great day. Rainbows and sunshine in 3rd grade. I absolutely love it. Well, whatever you are this morning, there's still lots of time to make it a great day. So get yourself together, get your feet right, and let's make it a great day. So I'm going to turn it over to Delicate Valentino Smith, who's going to read this lovely story to us at this time. I'll be back in a moment, guys.
Yep. Good morning. Good morning, Tulip Grove. Now, guess what? For all of you watching, I grew up in Bowie. I was a little girl in Bowie, just like a lot of you. I grew up. I went to school. I graduated from Bowie High. And I raised my kids here, and I still live in Bowie. And I want to give a shout out, just a little shout out to the kids that live in Long Ridge. I see you all working really hard here at Tulip Grove, and you all know what a great principal you have. Everybody start clapping real quick for her, and what great teachers you have here at Tulip Grove. So this morning, I brought a book with me. It's called Sophia Valdez, Future Prez. Are you ready? Sophia was a baby who got things done, helping her family before she turned 1. See her helping? She and Abuelo went out every week to help elderly friends around Blue River Creek, who couldn't get out and about on their own, and with no place to gather, were stuck home alone. See them helping? Raking the leaves, taking pets for a walk, or just dropping by for a treat and a talk. Sophia Valdez did as much as she could for her family and friends and her whole neighborhood. A dreamer, a doer, a real-life go-getter. Most people liked good, but Sophia liked better. See her helping? Remember, some people like good, but she liked better. I bet that's like a lot of you. Each morning, Abuelo walked Sophia to class. They walked home again along Blue River Pass, making plans, munching cookies. Abuelo and girl, except for that Tuesday when Pup saw the squirrel. Uh-oh, look. With a howl, Pup took off, racing all through the town, over and under, beneath and around. Sophia scrambled to keep up with the hollowing man and the bellowing Pup. Look at her Abuelo chasing the Pup as he's running through town. Up the squirrel ran to the top of a hill, made a leftover junk for the local landfill. They reached the tip top of that mountain of trash, which jiggled and broke with an ear-splitting crash. Uh-oh, Abuelo's up there trying to catch Pup. Down they all tumbled and hit with a thud on a moldy old pumpkin surrounded by mud. Ouch, cried Abuelo. He struggled to stand. A dangerous mess, he said, grasping her hand. The next day, Sophia walked to school solo, but it wasn't the same without her Abuelo. This is not right, declared young Sophia, who glared at Mount Trashmore and got an idea. Look at all that trash in her community. The very next morning at dawn, she planted a sign at the front of the lawn. She stood back and smiled, and Pup gave a bark. You know what her sign said? Get rid of Mount Trashmore. Let's build a new park. Each of her neighbors had something to say about benches and fountains and places to play, meeting spots, gardens, a basket for bees, a rubber duck pond, and a kiosk for cheese. She drew every thought on her map of the park, which was perfect by 11:45. Look, she's getting what the whole community wants to have at the park in. She drifted to sleep in her soft, cozy bed. Then, bam, she woke up when a thought smacked her head. Her heart skipped a beat, and she realized each one of her neighbors had said, "Let me know when it's done." They all thought Sophia could build it alone. But how could one girl do so much on her own? The weight of that thought made her tender heart ache as night thunder growled and she lay wide awake. Then dawn brought a storm and the gloom sky wept, and the heartsick Sophia finally slept. Abuelo baked cookies when Sophia got up. He gave her a bag full and he sneaked one to Pup. He blinked back a tear as he hugged his Sophia. For courage, he whispered, "Ti amo, mi via." Sophia's knees wobbled. She felt weak inside. She looked at his ankle and quite nearly cried. Then she didn't feel brave or courageous at all. But she went to face City Hall. See her giving him a hug? There she's going to City Hall. Have you guys seen one at the end, Senior City Hall in Bowie? The mayor's office sent her to room 401, the Blue River Creek Department of Fun, which sent her downstairs to room 302, the Office of Duck Ponds and Cool Things to Do. Then to the Office of the Monkeys, the Department of Cheese, the Division of Fountains and Meetings and Bees, then down to the basement, so musty and cramped, where all the town's papers were sorted and stamped. And that's when the clerk said what no one else did. "You can't build a new park. You're only a kid." The words smacked Sophia deep down in her heart. Her plan was kiboshed before it could start. "I think," said Sophia, "I think that law's wrong." But her second grade voice didn't sound very strong. The clerk said, "Clearly, it cannot be done. Do you have any questions? Sophia said, 1. If you were me and I was you and he was your grandpa, what would you do? Well, said the clerk. Then she said nothing at all. She thought and she thought. Then she sent out a call to every employee throughout City Hall. The entire government of Blue River Creek crammed into the office to hear Sophia speak. But her words jumbled up and her cheeks turned bright red as a dozen emotions rushed into her head. Her heart beat so loudly she thought it would crack. The crowd leaned in closer. Sophia leaned back. Then her arms brushed the edge of her old cookie sack. And that was the moment when Sophia first knew. Being brave means doing the things you must do, though your heart cracks with fear, though you're just in grade 2. She took a deep breath, looked at the mayor in the eye, and though her knees wobbled, she held her head high. Sophia started talking. She spelled out her plan and why it all mattered and how it began. And once she got rolling, she had lots to say about meeting spots, monkeys, and places to play, and other ideas for things they could do to help her town elders and other folks too. She had thoughts on the library, thoughts on the zoo, and perhaps a way to combine the two. All right, cried the mayor, go start a petition. If the town wants a new park, we'll form a commission. And so young Sophia got right to work with some help from her family and Pup and the clerk. Then others joined, not all, but a few, like Miss Lila Greer and the kids in grade 2. Look, everybody's coming to help. There were hearings and surveys and taxes to figure, then bulldozers, cranes, and a blue bigger digger. They all built that park. That's how it got done, with the hard work of, by, and for everyone. But it began with the dream of one person, just one, who laced up her shoes and then led the way to help Blue River Creek get a new place to play. Now, every evening till long after dark, the town comes together at Citizens Park. They all hold this truth to be self-evident, that Sophia Valdez could grow up to be president. Until then, Sophia, that real-life go-getter, helps Blue River Creek get better and better. Look at everybody helping the town now. The end. Did you like it?
All right, guys, you good? All right, guys. So we have just finished an amazing story. I actually have a quick question for you because as I was listening, I was thinking about something. So what tiger characteristic do you think Sophia demonstrated with wanting to make a difference in her community? Who can tell me what tiger characteristic do you think she demonstrated with wanting to make a difference in her community? Because she certainly was a tiger. Let's talk about it for a moment and let's see. And while we're doing that, Miss Nay's class checked in and her kindergartners, they're feeling sunny and bright this morning. So fourth graders are making some connections to a story they read called Luz Sees the Light. Can you tell us a little bit more, Mr. Taylor, about that connection that your class is making? And yes, Logan, I would definitely say that Sophia was very generous. She was also kind. And she was very courageous as well. Thank you, fifth grade leaders, for checking in. Ms. Robertson's class says, such an awesome message. Sophia represents generosity. She sure does. All right. So, Delicate Valentino Smith, do you have a question you want to pose to the students this morning?
I do. At one point, Sophia was told, you can't build a new park. You're only a kid. Do you think that's fair? And what would you say if someone said that to you?
All right. So there's our question, guys. Let's talk about that for a moment. Someone told her you can't do it because you're only a kid. What would you say to that? Let's see some of those responses. In the meantime, let's see who else is checking in. Miss Drummond says she's checking in from Miss Meyer's class, and her class said generosity. And Miss Richardson agreed with that and also said that the stories were similar because Mr. Taylor added the plots in the two stories were similar, with someone creating a park from an empty lot and used determination in the theme of determination. So that was the same. That was the connection. Awesome. So let's see what else you can check in with. Logan says, I might be little, but I can do big things. I love that. That's a great response. All right. What else? Who else is checking in? When someone tells you, oh, you're just too little to do that, what are you saying back to them? Teamwork is another one. Yes. Courtney says, you're never too small to do anything. That's true. I love that one. Jackson from Miss Robertson's class says, if you don't believe in me, I'll believe in myself. I think we had a message about that in our morning message one day about betting on yourself when no one else will. That's right. Tybo says she would get help. She wouldn't let people tell her she can't. She would go get a crew of people, just like Sophia did. Aiden says, in Ms. Richardson's class, says kids can do anything. They can make a difference and take a stand for different issues. They sure can. We've been talking a lot about that this year, how we need you all to be the voices, right, to make our world a better place. When the riots happened in DC, we had a long conversation about that as a school and how there's an appropriate way to allow your voice to be heard. And so we've been talking a lot about that this year, is that, they're little, but they can definitely make a huge difference in the world. So that's been a topic of ours this year. So your story was perfect and right on time.
And how you guys can all be a leader in your own way. And you can learn to get your community to work together. And I just think you all are all potentially going to be future press. So you guys know I go to Annapolis, the state capital. Sometimes you come there on field trips. Hopefully next year field trips will start again. And you'll come to Annapolis and you'll see the state capitol. And if any of you have seen the state capitol or to Annapolis, you can throw it in there in the chat and come visit and come meet with me. And if you have ideas for your community, I'm always glad to help you work with those ideas. And I used to be on the city council here before I went to the House of Delegates. Can any of you think of a time when you were courageous?
All right. And so while you're thinking, we'll take a look at a few more of these responses to drive change. I love that.
Oh,
I love that. We're having a little bit of technical. Hopefully it'll reconnect. There it is. All right. We're still here. Kids have voices too. That's right.
Do we have Jason who said, I believe in myself?
No, Jason, let's see, where's his?
Ryan Gates.
Okay, so Miss Gates' class, Jason says, I believe in myself. That's right. You don't need other people to believe in you. You always have to start by making sure that your actions make you happy, right? Ms. Coffin tells you that all the time. Not Ms. Coffin, not even your parents. Your choices and what you do has to make you happy first. Has to bring you joy. We talk about that all the time. So the next question we had was, is there a time when you've made a difference in your community or when you've demonstrated courageousness like Sophia did in the text? That's right. Kids may need some help from adults, but really the ideas to change do come from young people. I definitely agree with that. Oftentimes you do see the young people out there raising their voices and saying, no, this isn't right, or we need to think about doing things this way. Young people are powerful. They certainly are.
That's the only way. after the age of 18, people come and vote for us and elect us, but we can't do our job if we don't hear from the community. And you all are part of the community, so you do have a voice. And we do our best job when we're elected to represent you when you come and talk to us.
Awesome. So we're still waiting for a couple of courageous comments, and then we're going to begin to close things out so you guys can get started with your day. So we'll see who else checks in. They have to talk for a minute about it, and then they'll check in.
There's a lot of you out there that have done courageous stuff before.
So I'll give you one example while we wait. So we have a family, I don't know, you may know them, the Bays family in Bowie. Do you know the Bays? Okay, so the Bays they have 3 boys who have gone through Tulip Grove. The last one graduates this year. The oldest brother came to Mrs. Coffen and wanted to make a difference in the community. He noticed that we didn't have any benches on our brand new playground. So the Bays family built like 4 or 5 benches for outside. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And they put plaques on them with inspirational quotes for our students.
That is a perfect example of just deciding how you can help your community.
Yeah.
Something like benches. What a big difference. I'm going to run around out back next time I'm on my bike and sit on them.
They are beautiful too. They are beautiful, beautiful benches. And the teachers love them too because it gives them a place to kind of rest, and still be able to watch the children during recess too. So we had a few check in. And so David in Miss Balsam's class said he showed courage when he recited a long scripture in church. And you were spreading some good news, David. So that's a good thing too. All right. Mr. Taylor says Nyla collected trash around the neighborhood to make it look clean and green. I'm going to make a connection. I was outside the other day during recess, and some of our 5th grade leaders, they do just that. So that's a problem that we're having, is that our neighbors come and use our playground and leave trash. Mm-hmm.
I might have to help you get some signs.
Yeah, that would be great.
See, you guys just spoke to your leader, and we're going to try and do something. Your principal is great. You guys know that.
So yes, we have a big issue with our neighbors coming. They use our playground and they don't treat it with a lot of respect. So if you could help us get some signs, that would be fantastic. So our friends don't have to clean up when they go outside, so they can have a clean space.
Nobody should drop trash anywhere.
No. So the question again was, what have you done that's courageous, or how have you helped your community? Someone asked what the question was. Ellie in 3rd grade says, I help by not littering and picking up the community. Great. All right. And we had some other people who said they did a happy Wednesday. It's a happy Wednesday indeed. It certainly is. Thank you so much. Nathaniel checked in and said he was an upstander when he saw someone being bullied. So we've talked a lot about upstanders this year too, and how you have to be an ally to people. And so that was Nathaniel's example. Love it, Nathaniel. So I know there are so many more. And we're going to allow you guys to get to your day because it's 8:41. And I know your teachers have to teach health and do small groups. And I know that today is Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday is Make-Up Work Day. So if you have work that you haven't turned in this week, please make sure that you spend some time today working on it. So we want to thank you, Delegate Valentina Smith, for coming and being with us today. We hope that you enjoyed being. Do you have any final words for our students out there?
I want to say, for you Tigers, have a good day. You're some of the best kids in Bowie. I know that. And thank you to your principal for letting me come in and read to you about Sophia. Remember, you all could be a future press.
All right. Have a great day, friends. Talk to you later. Bye. All right.